I met Mr. Juma. I think at a time in my life when I think I was done with relationships. You know that you've prayed to God, you fasted, you've done all those things. Umenunua nguo, umeweka kando, umeiombea, you've claimed the husband, and nothing is happening. So we met at work, and at that particular time, I was not interested in dating. I was not into anyone. I was not looking for anyone to marry. But I knew God one day maybe He would provide. So I did things that I really enjoyed. I used to travel. You know, I did all the mountains, Mount Kenya, Kilimanjaro. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I really enjoyed that. I was looking for bungee jumping, but the day I went to Sagana, the guy who was supposed to do it was not there. I went for marathons, you know, Lewa. I go to YouTube, look for YouTube channels, make food, and I really enjoyed that particular time in my life. But I was not interested in dating. So this guy comes along.
I used to volunteer as an MC to do office gigs and all that, and I was enjoying it. I was loving it, you know. I was the life of the party. I greeted everyone, met everyone, and because of that, a lot of chicks used to think I'm a joker and all that, which is okay. Yeah, defense mechanism and stuff. But then, so one of those days, I'm emceeing an event. I think it's called Pongezi or something. Yeah, and so they were rewarding top performers, and guess who? They call out her name. Had never met, never seen. Then this girl walks towards where I am. And I'm like, looks like she's actually walking, and the priest, the CEO, looked like a priest. And I was like, yeah, this thing works magic. Yeah, and so I was like, I'll pursue this one. I will follow through and through.
Office relationships. I'm sure many guys can really feel me. And you know, it's interesting. This guy was the last person, as in hata kama tungebaki kwa dunia na yeye na God, ningeuliza God ni nani ninafaa kuoa. He was the last person I would have thought I would really date. So he comes and he's like, oh, he started sending me to emails. Oh, there's this thing in church. I was like,
so then I realized she had an eye for projects. So the first thing I did was interest her in one of the projects. I think we did, we looked at data in one of the products that we were doing and asked her to help around as I was sizing her up. And so then I realized she's godly and all that. I'm like, yeah, this looks like something my villagers would be very proud to see as a trophy on top of my head.
like, these are one of the guys. So I had this strategy. If anyone tried dating me at work, I have a very beautiful sister, but she's already taken, sorry. So I would share her photos with guys, and the guys would really like fall for her. And I used to nini that story. But it's interesting when Juma told me that he liked me, and it's funny, he was like, and I like you, and deal with it. Who tells someone that, you know?
Yeah, first of all, the fact that she was a top performer, I thought, yeah, if you have to raise a family, having a bright mother, apparently I'm told brilliance is for the men, it's the chromosome you add to that mathematics. And so I was like, yeah, then she was beautiful. I looked at her and
Still
my children can walk like this. Who am I to say no?
Hi, I'm Kendi,
My name is Juma.
and we are the Jumas.
This is Sanguine Chronicles.
Karibuni sana. Now, I'm supposed to tell you guys about our first date.
Our first date.
Yes.
By the way, which ones did you cancel first? Not you only canceled the car 50.
But you see, as I said, this was the last guy I thought I'd ever date. But I was like, fine, let me just go for the first date. I know this thing is going nowhere.
So you're avoiding me.
Yes, I knew we're not going to go anywhere.
First of all, I wrote you, I got your Gmail.
Yes.
and I asked you, we do a project together.
At it was a project.
Yes, we did a project together. Hey, you were looking happy, and every time you wanted to keep walking, so I think I see what God.
By the way, at that particular point,
Yeah.
there was nothing going on for
I
me.
think it's possible for you to be looking desperate without knowing.
I mentioned I was okay. I was in a very good place in my life.
Let's talk
I
about.
was not interested in dating.
Let me tell you. In fact, could that be the reason why you cancelled very many of our dates?
Yes, because I was not seeing like you know the way a chick is like hata sioni potential hapa like for real.
Yani uliniangalia ukaniangalia ukanisize ukasema shetani mgani. If I tell you that time me I was hot cake.
No, the only thing I remember was how you MC'd and you cracked some funny jokes anyway.
I'm funny. Look at me. Look at me. Yeah. Anyway, so you cancelled like 50. I wanted to take coffee and you cancelled like 50 of our dates. You remember? In fact, the most painful one is the one you cancelled because I was late for 5 minutes.
Yes, because you have, I mean, if you're taking a chick out, I mean, me, I'm so old school, the girl has to ask me out. And when you ask, please keep time.
I was late for only 5 minutes. And then so I found her in Tuskys. We were in Tuskys shopping for 5 hours. After she cancelled her date in 30 minutes.
I think I decided to go on a date just to like let you, as in wachana na mimi when you lose a date, you invited me for a Valentine's date in church and all those things. I was like, okay, let me just let this guy get off my back. Let me go on a date with him.
The way I read your SMS, it sounded like you can't wait for actually having a complete date.
But that was not there. Now I should tell guys, I meet this guy in town. I was dressed up for the date. Like, you know, the other chick is like, fine, let me just, even if I know we're not going in anywhere, let me just impress this guy.
Why are you making people feel like I was dressed in ngoma rubber shoes?
And those are the days we met in town, CBD, hapo karibu shop fulani, sita mention. Tulipatana hapo, karibu na choo fulani hapo. Imagine.
I knew, let me tell you, I knew utaniona hivi, meaning irresistible, you'll start having a running stomach. So I needed...
No, but ladies, let me tell you, I was taken out on a date. I expected him. I'd already mentioned places I like going to have my meals.
Yeah.
Nilipelekwa kukula ugali na samaki na mkono.
No. This is a true story. I sized up this lady. Na nikaona yeye ni high flyer, like high maintenance, high flying, expensive girl. Nikasema hii kiburi, Mungu nipe wisdom. Nikasema you bring her down to your level and beat her with your experience.
Okay, up to date, I still don't remember, but I think Juma had prayed. He had prayed about that day because actually ningekataa kwenda hiyo date.
So let me tell you what God did for me. So I knew you had mentioned you wanted to go on a holiday to South Africa.
I'd actually come like that week from South Africa.
Oh, you had come from South Africa?
Yes.
No. Yeah, you had come from South Africa.
Yes,
you had come from South Africa.
Yes.
So, and then you're saying your next trip was England. I'm like, yes, she started working before me, but how much money does this woman have?
I used to work so hard. I would work at night. I used to do night shift. I used to save my money to travel.
So I knew, I can't say like, let's go on a date in Dubai. Like, I would be foolish. Yeah? So what I decided is, I'm like, which is a hotel? Now, next to not Kencom. This old, it's called what? The Teleposter Towers. No, this is the other one where there's a stage. GPO.
Yes.
So I knew GPO. There's a hotel for lunges who eat there. People who have maybe pre-existing conditions, boiled food, like food that you eat and you wonder, is this, which vegetable is this? This is not spinach. This is not, So I knew.
It's mboga kienyeji.
Let's go somewhere where we can eat food that is good for our health. So those are my areas.
I survived the first date. As in, I couldn't believe nilipelekwa nikaosha mkono. I ate brown ugali. Brown ugali. and fish and mboga kienyeji. Then but hatutasema tulikula wapi, but ni uko karibu Nation Center mahali hapo.
Let me tell you. I was broke. I didn't have money.
Singesema.
You know, sometimes I hear myself say things and my ears are also hearing it for the first time. So I've asked this girl on a date.
Na hauna pesa.
Mbele nyuma. Tao. Mbele nyuma. Tao.
Come to think of it.
So I'm like, how do I... So, and then you said you had agreed at noon. So I knew this guy is very wise. She wants to eat lunch. So I decided, let me take her somewhere where...
Yes.
If Jesus comes, we'll have eaten a lot of food. It might not be quality, but, you know. And there, because we couldn't talk, immediately after the stomach is full, your energy will have gone down. I'll take you wherever direction I will.
Aki, but the sad part was, I still can't believe I walked from town, CBD, all the way to Arboretum. First
I wanted it natural, you know. You know, let me tell you, I wanted us to go to somewhere where, I was living in Eastlands. In fact, in Maradaima at that time, if you called Kenya Power, they would say you are in Mukuru Kwanjenga. So I was living in Eastland, so I needed somewhere where there's fresh air, and Uhuru Park had been interfered with. I wanted it next to Moi's statue. You know where the Karungu is? I was like, it was start my authority, but Uhuru Park wasn't very clear. So I was like, let's walk to Arboretum. Let me see if the way you walk is consistent. So I took you to Arboretum, and there were benches there.
I survived that day to Arboretum.
And you cried. Am I burning?
I think hapo umejoma. But I remember we went on the date, and it was one of the very best dates, which is quite interesting. I wouldn't have thought, but I remember we sat and we had very authentic conversations, about ourselves, about our lives, what we stand for in life. And for me now, ladies, what really stood out for me, Juma prayed for me. He made a prayer that made me cry. I was like, oh Lord.
If I can fail in the things on earth, invoke powers.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, give me the style you used to talk to that woman at the well.
Yeah. But I remember he made a prayer for me, and that prayer has stood all through my life. And I think that was the point was hey, this guy, there's something about him, And the other thing, as I said, we had very good conversations, authentic conversations. We talked about different things. I felt like through that, I was able to know a lot about you.
I'm fun.
And you put all your cards. Date number 1,
Told you, it is you I want to marry. Go and deal with it. Go handle it.
Yeah. And I think that was the beginning of a beautiful journey.
By the way, were you shocked when I told you it is you I want to marry?
Yes, but I think I also had to go tell God, I've not been looking for a relationship, and you brought one. I think even at that point, how did you say I think we had also talked and said we are not for dating, for games, it's for marriage. But still, I don't think at that particular point I'd seen marriage in you. I'd not seen a husband in you.
What had you seen?
I'd just seen someone
someone who goes to the police station to raise the flag, or what?
And I was like, God, this ship, let it just sail. I'm in to just enjoy myself and have fun.
So you wanted to use me, isn't it?
Not to use you, Juma. Not to use you. It's just what God had. God just brought you at that particular time when I least expected. And I think for me, looking back, there are things I would look at. You see, at times also maybe at that point when you're dating someone, at times God can answer. For me, I think the biggest thing is God can answer your prayer for a spouse. Looking back 7 years, having after we got married, you are an answered prayer to me. So many things about you, when I went back to my list, that's who you are.
What was your,
but at that point when we met, you are not those things.
What was on your list? What was your initial
tall,
list?
dark, handsome.
I may not be tall, I may not be dark.
Yeah. No, but those small things like a friend, a person who respects you, a person who seeks the best in you, who looks for the best in you, who encourages you, who is your support system, that is who you are to me then. I mean, that's who you've been to me since you got married. But at that time when we were dating, I never saw those things in you. I just saw a person was different, you know. And I think for me, my turning point after that, we had a number of dates, and then I fell sick. Like I was really sick for some time. And now for me, the confirmation was Juma walked. That journey took like 6-7 months. I was in hospital. I left hospital. I had to keep going to hospital again for checkups. This guy would make every excuse to walk with me. And I remember the day, like I thought I knew this guy, I think kuna ka husband material mahali. My legs were swollen. I remember I was so sick and I'd taken medication. It started reacting on my skin started reacting, my face, I added a lot of weight. Juma like held my legs one day because they were swollen and they were on fire, and he prayed for me. And nikajambia humse mwenye he's risking his life because he also used to expose himself a lot by taking me to hospital to see the doctor for my appointments. I thought if he's walked with me through one of the toughest moments in my life, then I think I saw that there was a person who this is a person I would really want to walk through this life with, you know. But as I said, at times God could answer your prayer and it's like right in front of you. But maybe at times because you have this notion, you end up ignoring maybe a person who could be a potential spouse, and that person is like right in front of you.